Greetings, intrepid health warriors out there, flushers and the hopeful flushers. This is Siena Songbird, and I wanted to give a little report today from the day 7 of my 33rd flush, which still makes me kind of in the baby leagues of the veteran flushers. But it's been an interesting experience today. I'd say lately I've been having more flushes where my transit time is slower than I expect. So sometimes, and that's why it's so good to be in this process with people that we can talk through these things, because every flush can be really different. And there can be batches of similar flushes, but they can also be different every single time. So sometimes you start passing stones like in the middle of the night or in that early morning hours, or you have like all your main stones in the morning, But lately I've been having some flushes where like I'm not getting stones until like the middle of the day. And so I actually think that the flush was kind of a dud. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe there's a blockage in there that isn't moving. But today I was actually out of the house when my first big stone came out, and there was a photo I posted in the group of that one. So I don't have that one because I was at the chiropractor's office when that came out, and it literally felt like a turd coming out. But again, it's like there's nothing coming out of my bowels. Like I went in juice fasting and I haven't eaten anything, and nothing like poop is coming out. It's just material from the liver. And it's really obvious too because it floats, and it's a very particular bile pigmentation color. And I mean, you feel different when they come out too. It's not, sometimes you have that really good poop, right? But the liver stones, it's like the body knows that something good is getting out, and it just gets really happy. So I don't have that stone with me, but I thought I would do a little stone show and tell because today's been kind of crazy in that I had an absolutely horrible day. I mean, my life is kind of like totally falling apart right now, and I'm going through some of the most intense devastation, heartbreak, grief, and like life transitions that I ever have really faced. But today was like a particularly bad day, and woke up in a really intense way, and then just proceeded to be dealing with like one thing after another. And like this is where it gets really trippy too, because like the car was dead, and I spilled. So when I finally got to the point of like having my first food of the day, well, I had a juice, I had a morning juice and everything, but then I was gonna have broth with some tomato in it. It wasn't really like grand deal, but it was gonna be kind of like my first warm like food, and it was already like 1:30 o'clock, and I knocked it off. It was like perched on the bathtub because of course I was like trying to get to do an enema, but like my hot water heater's broken. And so there's like all these things that were getting in the way of me like getting to my next enema. I did an enema first thing, I did an enema in the morning, but like nothing. There was nothing there. And I was like, oh, this flush didn't work. So I was like, I'm gonna do another enema just to kind of finish my thing in the middle of the day. And I knocked my broth off the bathtub, and like it spilled all over the floor, and I just basically went into a total fit, like having a full-on tantrum, and I was crying and screaming, and I was like just so devastated. But then I also realized like later, as a couple other things happened too, that even the fact that my like what I was carrying swung into that jar and knocked the broth onto the floor and made a huge mess. Not to mention that I was emotionally not in a great way to handle that extra stress of having a mess and losing my food. But even the fact that I knocked it off the thing is actually part of potentially the shake up from this particular flush. So, and then I was still hadn't made it to my enemas, right? Still hadn't made it to my enema because now there's this huge mess on the floor, and I'm crying bawling, screaming baby, and I just can't get it together. And then I'm like walking through the house doing something, trying to like boil water to like get my enema up to temperature. And I like smashed my knee into the wall, and I fall to the ground. I fall to the ground again, crying and in so much pain and so frustrated. And so like I identified a feeling today of exasperation, which I think is pretty good. And it's like, I think that flavor is liver related. So it's interesting. But yeah, smashed my knee up, like really bad, just tears going down my face. Like, okay, I gotta go take some arnica. I gotta put some stuff on. And like that happened right before I finally got the enema set up, and I went and did the enema, and lo and behold, so so I showed a picture of the one that came out at the chiropractor's office, and I'm gonna wash my hands after this, but they're really like, they're pretty clean. They are made out of the materials from in your bodies, but I just want you to get a good sense of this, because this is insanely large. So this was one that came out, and when these things come out, you feel them come out. You don't feel them actually when they move out of your body in the inside of your body usually, because everything's so soft. Here's another one. I mean, I'd say this is, I don't know, I should really get a measuring thing, but 3/4 of an inch at least. That's actually not even the biggest one. So just sort of the larger nuggets. No, I can't really see that well. But like this one is actually even bigger than that other one. This one is probably like actually an inch across. Oh, and there's also this one. And there's this one. They are serious nuggets. Like there was nothing else in the toilet bowl, just these giant medallions that came out of my liver. And I did feel something last night, in the area, but it was gentle, and I like had a pretty good night, I managed to even sleep. And then this morning when there was nothing, I was like, dude, it was a dud, it's okay. I'm just going to keep going. But lately that's been kind of happening where it comes out later. And the thing is that when they are bigger stones, like bigger, fattier bowling balls rolling through there, I do think they sometimes take longer in the transit time. And of course, it just depends on everyone's particular systems. And I guess, mine's kind of slow. But I mostly wanted to emphasize today and share with you guys that I am running into things, I'm falling apart, I am knocking over my food and making messes, and that all is happening right before these things are fully out of my body. It's like they were already released from my liver last night, but I woke up full emotional states today, and my car didn't start, and I spilled my lunch, and I smashed up my body, and I've been falling down crying and exasperated and frustrated and scared and angry and sad and so many things. But these bowling ball nuggets of stones is the answer to that, is part of is woven into how this day has been made manifest. And it's exciting to me. It's exciting to me that you can see something like that. And that shows you like, hey, if this kind of material moving through me, coming out of me, that's been stuck inside of me, if it can literally cause my life to like look and feel like it's breaking down at the seams, and I'm hurting myself, and I'm, breaking things, and things are not working. It's like these things weave between the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the material, the reality. Like they are doing they are doing more than just affecting you in the physical. And so I want to invite you to jump on the flushing train. We have a really awesome thing going with our Liberate Your Liver community, and we're starting up another program on June 17th, and you can get in your application and join us, because this is something you want to commit to. There's nothing like cleaning the filter of your body and changing that filter and getting unstuck and getting to the other side of all of the angst that maybe has built up in our lives, you know, and the toxicity and the blockage. Basically blockage, like what if you had less blockage in every area of your life? So I would love to have you on board. I would love to see you there. We can do this together. I want to support you. Just reach out to me if you have any questions, because we can totally work something out. And yeah, thank you for witnessing and celebrating my 33rd liver flush. Out. Siena Songbird out.